Wow. Just wow. Somebody give a big round of applause to the Persona 5 team, Katsura Hashino and his team that worked on this game, because what they've done here, again, it's just pure brilliance. Persona has just kept up this trajectory of just continuously going up with every game that they do. They started off on a slightly low note with Persona 1. They shot up with Persona 2. They shot up again with Persona 3. They shot up to the sky to where you would think they wouldn't be able to reach it again with Persona 4. But then they reach it again, and not only do they reach it, but they surpass it. They surpass it here with Persona 5. They really just outdid themselves that time. And like I said, we just got to give a big round of applause to that team that did an excellent job on this. I mean, I don't know if they can surpass this game this time. I mean, I know I said the same things with Persona 4. A lot of people said the same things with Persona 4. I don't think they could do this again. That's what everyone thought. I don't think they could hit this level again. But they did. And they even surpassed it. Now, I believe this is the last Persona game. I remember the director saying it's the final one in at least the trilogy of 3, 4, 5, since all of those are in the exact same universe. It's the end of that trilogy, and I'm imagining it's probably the end of Persona as well, because if that trilogy's over, your most popular ones, I think they want to move on now, and they have strongly said that they want to do something different and go back to classic type RPGs. This is a very modern day RPG, and we've even seen pictures of their new upcoming project with the elf looking woman with red hair. I think, there's still going to be AAA games like Persona 5 is. It's just they want to go back to classic, like mythological type shit, some elves and, things like that. But Persona 5 is a very modern day game. It's very modern day. It deals with a lot of stuff that's going on today. Dirty politicians trying to run the country. I mean, that feels more United States than it does Japan. But I don't know the political situation over in Japan, so I can't speak on that. They was talking about things like the media and the fucking fake news. They didn't mention the actual words fake news, but you got the sense of fake news and all that. Labeling something as bad when it's not, or labeling something as good when it's not, through the media. That is shit we are dealing with today. Alright, that's modern day shit. And it's just crazy. And it's just so many vibes of what's happening, and it's so relatable in that way. It's so relatable to what's going on in the world, and freaking adults being freaking selfish assholes. I mean, I am an adult. I know I'm a selfish asshole too, just like the rest of the adults. So it's like, yeah, I understand. These kids, they just want these adults to listen. But when you're a teenager, as we all know, we've been teenagers in the past before, or you're still a teenager, no one's going to listen to you. No one really takes you seriously. You could be right as a motherfucker, and no one's going to take you seriously. And the game deals with that. And I got some series of unfortunate events vibes with that, because I mean that's more in a sarcastic, funny type way, whereas this is a little bit more serious and deals with actual issues better than Unfortunate Events does. Unfortunate Events is supposed to be crazy, but the main point of Unfortunate Events is to showcase that adults don't listen to kids no matter what. Like I said, they could be right 100% accurate on what they're saying, but because adults are who they are, or who we are, adults, we think we know everything already. We think we've been through everything already. We got all the fucking answers, Sway. We think we got all the answers, but in actuality, we don't. And we need to start listening to people more. Not just kids. We need to start listening to each other more and learn to communicate better. That's just 100% obvious. That's shit going on again in modern day age. Music. What is there to say about Persona music? When has Persona music let anybody down? Persona 2 music was great. 3, 4, and now 5s. Okay, I am so glad that I picked up the Take Your Heart edition so I could get the soundtrack. Oh god, I got it backwards. So that I could get the soundtrack. I'm gonna be bumping this shit, man. I don't even have a CD player. I guess I'll be putting it in my PlayStation 4 or something like that. While I'm driving on the road, I'll be playing this shit. Man, that Take Your Heart edition. Now let me just showcase that off. Here's the box. Right? Oh god, I'm so glad I got this. I am so happy. I just wanted to show that off real quick. I still got that shit in the plastic. That Morgana, that art book. It's the cheap version of the art book, guys. The real art book doesn't come out till May. This is just the aesthetics, but when that real art book comes out, I can't wait to get that shit either, because Persona 5, it's the best game to come out on PlayStation since Uncharted 4. And not only is it the best game to come out on PlayStation since Uncharted 4, it's the best game, period, to come out since Uncharted 4. You know, when it comes to greatest games of all time for me, the Mass Effect trilogy has always been number 1. The Persona 3 and 4 were always at number 2. I couldn't separate them. I can't separate them. It just doesn't work. Well, Persona 4 is above Persona 3, so Persona 4 was at number 2. But with Persona 5, that shit just shot up there on equal level, on equal footing with the Mass Effect trilogy for number 1. It's not going to surpass it. That's impossible because of my emotional connection to the Mass Effect trilogy. But this game shot up there right next to it. So now my rankings are number 1, Mass Effect trilogy and Persona 5. Number 2, Persona 4 Golden. And then number 3 would be the Uncharted franchise, because this game just blew everyone out the fucking wall. Everyone's all high on Horizon and all that bullshit, and this game just comes out and knocks Horizon, punches it dead in its fucking face. And I'm so glad it did. It has a higher Metacritic score and everything, baby. I'm so glad it did, because that Horizon hype was so unfucking deserved. But back to the newest love of my life, the characters. Let's get to the characters. Another shining aspect of the Persona franchise. They always have great characters, and every now and then they do a good villain. But this has great characters and great villains. So Marvel, take a fucking lesson here, okay? Because I'm gonna explain to you guys how you can create a movie or whatever you want to create, not just with great characters, but also have great villains. And guess fucking what, Marvel? You don't have to kill anybody. Yes, Persona 5 didn't kill a single main fucking character, and it's still absolutely phenomenal with his main characters, some of the side characters, and its villains. Now I'm gonna go in order of which character I liked the most. I'm gonna start with them, and then I'm gonna go down to which ones I like the least. Okay, so it's gonna go in that order, best to least, and I'm only touching the main characters. Okay, only the main. So pretty much, if you're not on the cover, I'm not going to cover. I'm not going over them. I'm not going over. If you didn't make the cover of the game, I'm not going over them. So my favorite out of these group of ragtag rogues, I even named the group Rogue One just to have fun, was Makoto. Makoto, definitely my favorite. She ended up being the waifu. You know, I ended up romancing her. You can date all the girls, I think, is what I heard, but you will regret it in the end. I think they have another one of those Valentine's Day heartbreaks that Persona 4 Golden hit everybody with, and they were shocked, like, what? Yeah. So, you know, pick one. Don't be a douche. Pick one. And I went with Makoto, like I said, not just on the romantic aspect, but the fact that I felt she was a very well-rounded character. She was smart. Her reasons for wanting to have her own little change of heart was to not rely on adults. She's always been told what to do. She wasn't able to figure out what she wanted to do. And I kind of related to that because, you know, I've had such a passion for film since I was a boy. And I never strived to do anything with it until just a couple of years ago, where I finally said, the stuff that everyone was telling me to do, which is they was saying, stay away from film, it's too hard to get into, you'll never make it. I just had to follow what I want to do. And I just really felt that. I just really could agree with that. Like, yeah, I understand where you're coming from. So Makoto definitely just struck an emotional chord as to where I can understand her. And that's why she ranked number 1. That's why I picked her as the romance option. She was the smartest character out of the whole fucking group. I mean, so there is that too. And then next on my list is Ryuji. Now I've seen some people complain about Ryuji. They say he's just a dick. And I'm like, no, man, no. I can relate to Ryuji because he's straight up with you. He's up front. He's brutally honest. And he doesn't give a fuck, okay? He'll say what he wants. He'll cuss how he wants. He's probably the one who cussed the most out of the group. I mean, shit. If you got a problem with that, you're an idiot. So, but Ryuji was a straight up front character in your face, gonna let you know what's up. And that's good. We need people like that. We need people to tell people how it is, when it is, what it is, no matter what. No matter the consequences, whether it's blunt or not. People need to hear the truth. Alright? People need to hear the truth and accept it. Alright? We gotta be brutally honest about some stuff. It's just the way it is, you know? You can't always talk to people calmly. You can't always just say, here, let's sit down, let's have this kind of conversation. No, sometimes you gotta be straight up and say, nah, man, fuck that. What you're doing is dumb, and da-da-da-da-da. You just gotta go off on some people. You just gotta let them know. And that's what he does. He's straight up front. He don't take no shit either. You know? When Shido bumped into him, he wasn't taking no shit from that dude just because he's a politician. Just because he's a politician, boy, get out. Get out, man. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you are. You don't get to, like, step on us because we down here and you up here, dude. That's not how that shit works, man. That's why I love Ryuji, man. He ain't take shit from nobody, dog. Nobody. So Ryuji's awesome. And people hating on Ryuji saying he's a douche, man. You just don't understand. You just don't understand. And then after him, I'd say Haru. Haru's like so cute. It's like you just wanted to take care of her. You know, I considered making her the waifu, but I just like Makoto all around more. Haru was a little too conservative for me. Her whole plot with, you know, taking over the company was kind of like whatever, so I didn't feel the romantic chemistry there. The way the game, like, you know, pretty much forces on you the romantic chemistry of Makoto, and it's the first time I've agreed with a Persona game with Makoto on it pushing towards that romance. Persona 4 really pushed towards that Yukiko romance. Okay, well, other than in Golden, where, you know, you could date, oh, I forgot her name, the one who was in the Velvet Room. They pushed that one in Golden more than they pushed Yukiko in standard Persona 4. But I didn't agree with Yukiko in Persona 4. I was a Rise fan. They really pushed that one. I didn't agree in Persona 3, but they really pushed not even gonna try to say her name. I was more of a redhead fan in that game. Mitsuru, I was more of a Mitsuru fan in that game. They didn't really push that one. The game always lets you know which one of these will be canon. If they ever did an anime, or if they ever did, I think the manga might already be out in Japan. I don't know what's canon in that, if there's a canon at all. But the game, you can always tell which one they want to be canon if they ever had one. And Makoto was just obvious. The way they structured her story with you, the way their confession scene where you can make a confession to her was a romantic scene compared to everyone else's. Makoto was the one that they wanted you to be with, and for the first time in the Persona game, or in really any game, I actually agreed with their canon choice. So there's that, other than Haru. Anne comes after Haru, and I felt with Anne, she was just such a pretty face, and she was like ditzy a lot of the times, and kept falling for traps with that rival of hers. And, you know, I didn't feel any romantic chemistry there with the protagonist and Anne. I felt that was more sexual chemistry, like he wanted to bang her. I mean, I just felt that was obviously there. So I didn't romance Anne. If I romanced Anne, it would have simply been because she was pretty. But I like Anne's personality to an extent, you know. She's one of the popular girls who has the rumor spread about her, despite the fact that she didn't do any of those. You know, we all went to school with those girls. They become popular through rumors, but it can also be their biggest downfall. Especially if, like with Anne, she didn't do any of that stuff. She didn't bang fucking Kamoshida. You know, but Kamoshida was a douchebag, pervert, you know, child molesting ass motherfucker, but she didn't bang him. I think Shiho might have. I believe he sexually assaulted Shiho, which was not dark, but it was some deep shit that happened in the game. The game has a lot of deep shit that happens. I can't even go through all the moments, but so Anne, you know, she's towards the bottom, and then Futaba after that. Futaba was like the little sister of the game. She really was. There was no way in hell I could romance Futaba. There was absolutely no way in hell I could do that. She was such a little sister. It was like you just wanted to take care of her. You know, you just wanted to get her out of the house and say, go and talk to some people. Like, there is no fucking way I could have ever romanced Futaba. And, you know, her storyline of, you know, wanting to do the thing with her mom and the whole promise list, you know, that was cool and everything. It just, you know, it felt like such a sister thing that I really wish they probably would have just confirm that was your sister instead of even giving her a romance option. It was such a sisterly relationship, you know. So that's how I felt about that. She didn't really stand out to me, you know. It's just like your little sister that you're taking care of. And then after that is Yosuke, who, you know, the painter, whose model design is ripped straight out of Persona 2, straight out of fucking Persona 2. That design is straight out of that game. But Yosuke, he's whatever, dude. I didn't care too much about him. He was the furthest away from being maxed out. I got all of them maxed out except for Futaba and Yosuke. Futaba was ranked 9 though. I tried to max her out. I couldn't do it on the first run through. Yosuke was back at level 8. So, you know, he was the one I spent the least amount of time with, despite coming before Futaba, who I got to level 9. I just didn't care to hang out with the dude, man. He just kind of bored me with his whole, I want to be an artist and thing and whatnot. I mean, that's fine that you want to be an artist and everything, but your personality doesn't shine through it at all. And then after that, someone who wasn't really a part of the team, but who really stood out in this fucking game, it might have been due to his voice actor was just succeeding in such a way, was Akechi. Akechi was a crazy motherfucker. And he was a decent, halfway decent villain, which again, take some notes, Marvel, on how to do a damn good villain. Akechi was a psychotic bastard who was manipulative, and as I said in the rankings, he did come last, but he still stood out more than Yosuke, but I actually like Yosuke, where I didn't like Akechi as a person. I like Yosuke as a person, he just didn't stand out. Whereas it's reverse with Akechi, he stood out, but I didn't like him. This motherfucker wanted to kill us. If he had the shot, he would have killed us. He did kill us, kinda. He straight shot our fucking shadow version of ourselves in the head. Like, this dude is a psychotic nutcase, and that's why he stood out. I don't like him, but he stood out, okay? I don't like him because I'm not supposed to like him. You're not really supposed to like him. They try to make him sympathetic towards the end of his plot, the end of his storyline, but I still don't really like the fool. It's like, do you know what you've done? Do you know who the people you've killed? You started this shit. Like, come on now. Yeah, because Shido was his daddy and whatnot, but whatever, who gives a fuck? And can we give another round of applause for the voice acting for all of these characters? God damn, Persona, you didn't let me down at all. You didn't let me down at all. The voice acting was top notch, and I've been saying time and time again to these fucking weeboos out here on the internet, the English voice acting for not only JRPGs, but fucking anime has gotten top notch, okay? We can do just as good as them, if not better. There's multiple different series and video games where we've done better. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, the English is better. Dragon Ball Z, the English is better. Persona 4 Golden and fucking Persona 5 in English is better. Hell, Persona 3, throw that in there too. The English is better. It's top notch. And I just mentioned Akechi. The dude who played Akechi, you know, he just sounds normal through most of the game. But once he gets to his psychotic state, that motherfucker shines. He shines as a voice actor. When he says, "Come to me, Loki," the way he screams that, oh, that was beautiful. That was beautifully done right there. His psychotic breakdown in front of them, that was a very good scene. That voice actor, whose name I don't know at the moment, I'll figure it out later. That dude is the shit. That dude was awesome. Makoto's voice actor is Lucy's voice actor. Yosuke's Matt Mercer. When has Matt Mercer ever disappointed? But solid A++ to the voice acting in this game. Now the ending of the game was solid. That was a solid ending. Persona 4 Golden's ending, I feel, beats it slightly. Only because in the ending of Persona 4 Golden, there's the tag of when he comes back. And when he comes back, I feel like that was the perfect ending, because they said they ended it with "Welcome Home," because that was truly his new home. You know, he left, he had to go back. You know, that's all the Persona games you have to leave, unless you're Persona 3. And we'll get to that shit in a minute. But you know, you always have to leave. But he came back at the end of Persona 4, and I felt that was really touching, and I felt that was really great to where, as they even said in the game itself, he came back home. That was his home. And in Persona 5, you know, it's your new home, but you don't come back. It ends on you leaving. You'll probably come back later. They're just not going to show it unless there's some DLC down the future, or they do an Arena Ultimax with Persona 5. I don't think that's going to happen, though. But it's with him leaving with his friends. It was a good ending. It was a happy ending, well-deserved ending. But I just really liked the way Persona 4 Golden did it, and where they had him come back after I think it was a whole nother year. After the Arena Ultimate shit happened. So it was at the very end, he came back home, and I really liked that, and I thought that was really well done. You know, the normal ending to Persona 4, before Golden, it added that on there. It was similar to this. He just left. And I wouldn't consider that a necessarily great ending. That would be an okay ending, him just leaving. But when they added the tag in Golden of him coming back, I thought that really boosted up. That was really great. It was really well done. And I wish Persona 5, I was hoping that it was going to do something like that, because we knew there was going to be a tag at the end of the credits. But the tag was just him going down the road with his friends still, on their way to drop him off to his home. Not his real home. Well, it is his real home, but you know what I mean. Not as connected with emotional memories home. But it's 10 times better than the Persona 3 ending. The Persona 3 ending is the weakest fucking ending out of all of the Personas. Well, I can't speak for Persona 1. I hear Persona 1 just sucks all the way around. But it's so much better than Persona 3's ending. Fucking killing Minato or Makoto, whichever canon you go by. I think it's Minato in the manga, Makoto in the movies. So, whichever one you go by. But killing him off at the end of Persona 3 was one of the dumbest things they could have done. Okay? In order to kill a character, it has to be earned. Alright? We have problems with Batman v Superman because of the fact that Superman death was not earned. It wasn't earned. Same thing with Persona 3. That death at the end of that game wasn't earned. And I'm actually very happy that people have come to it seems that way. People have come to realize that the ending just wasn't that great in Persona 3. One of the first comments I saw on a video of the Persona 5 ending was, "I'm so glad this didn't end as depressing as Persona 3." So that just goes to let you know, depressing endings will not always win out in the end. People are going to come at your ass, especially if it doesn't feel earned, which I don't feel it felt earned. We have plenty of other movies and games where people die at the end and it's well earned, and it makes for a great wrap-up ending to that game or that movie. Whereas Persona 3, that did not work. And even worse, they have it to where I think Aegis and Elizabeth are looking to save him, and they never ever addressed it ever again in none of the games. You know, they could have done something to where Makoto was mentioned or shown, or some type of news update on him being freed, or maybe they just couldn't free him. Some closure there. That's the problem with the Persona 3 ending. There's no closure. There's no fucking closure. And that's why Persona 4 Golden's ending was so wrapped up in a tight little bow beautiful. There was closure. Persona 5's ending, while it's not as good as Persona 4 Golden's, there's still closure. You know, he's going home. He's going to keep his relationship. He's going to have his friends. After that, you know, we don't know. We probably won't know. Like I said, I think this is the it for Persona, period. But there's still more closure in this ending than there was for fucking Persona 3. There's no fucking closure in Persona 3. It just ends with him touching Aegis' face and his hand falls and he's dead. He's dead. He's fucking chained. He's like this. He's a statue. He's a fucking statue, dude. Blocking that one god from getting out. I'm like, oh, Persona 3, you let me down so much. Persona 2 was like a little bit darker than you. Well, not darker, just a little bit more mature than you. And yet you still tried to go edgy in Persona 3. Like, let's go edgy. Let's go Tokyo Ghoul edgy at the end of this, okay? Like, just get out. Just get out, man. I'm not even supposed to be ranting about you right now, but every time I think about the Persona 3 ending, that's why that game gets smacked out of my fucking top 3 or whatever. Because it's just, it doesn't belong up there with Persona 4 and 5. It just doesn't belong up there because of that ending. And I don't feel the characters are as good as Persona 4 or 5 either, especially not 5. The fuck? But to wrap all of my feelings up about this game, to wrap it all up, this is a phenomenal JRPG. As they said, one of the best JRPGs in decades. Final Fantasy, you better watch your fucking back, because 15's got nothing on this game, and if you keep slipping up, this is going to take your spot. You may sell better right now, but if this isn't the last Persona, watch your fucking back, dude, because this already came for you, and it's already beat you critically, and it's already beat you with the positive reception compared to Final Fantasy 15. It's already beat you there. But if this is not the last Persona, you better watch your back, Final Fantasy, because they're going to come and whoop your ass, not only critically and as far as positive reception goes, but they're going to whoop your ass financially and commercially. And I can't wait to see that happen, because Persona is such a better game than Final Fantasy. It is such a better game. And it's just such a better franchise in general than Final Fantasy. And Persona 5 itself beats many other games, period. Not just Final Fantasy, period. Not just JRPGs, but games in general. Because Persona 5 is a 10 out of 10 game. It's a 10 out of 10 game. Though despite the 10 out of 10, there was a couple of gripes here and there. There were some issues I had with the fact that the chemistry between all the characters together didn't work as well as it did in Persona 4. The chemistry here, I believe it's because you don't get enough time spent with them as a whole as you did in Persona 4. You took how many trips in Persona 4? There was the beach trip, there was the camping trip, there was the trip to the Persona 3 place, there was the ski trip, and I believe there's another trip that I'm missing. Oh, the hot springs trip. 5 trips. Probably more that I might have missed. You know how many trips are in Persona 5? 1. You get 1 trip to Hawaii. 1 trip. And you just don't get to connect with them as a unit as much as you do in Persona 4 or even Persona 3. You know, as a unit together, you do not get to connect with them, and that's the biggest gripe of the game right there. They needed more of that. They needed more of, as a unit, you guys together. The only time it's like they focus so much as a unit during the main story. They didn't give you that side shit with the trips and getting to know them and whatnot. It was all wrapped up in the main story, and there's no outside things going on. Like I said, you have 1 trip during the whole game to get to know these people, and it's like, that's it? That's it. I really wish they would have had more than just 1 trip. You know, why couldn't we go to Innova? Why couldn't we go just somewhere else? Just somewhere else. You know, we took the Hawaii trip. Okay, why can't we have a camping trip? I understand this is a little bit more mature than Persona 4 was. You know, not as shonen-y as Persona 4 was. So, I mean, we still needed more time. You don't have to be shonen-y to take these trips and give me more time with the characters as a unit. And then you don't need to be shonen-y to do that. So that's my one biggest gripe with the game right there, was the chemistry as a whole with the characters. I needed more of that. I really needed more of that. But let me know what you guys think of Persona 5. I'm talking about this game at length because I just love it so goddamn much, and I don't think you can talk about this game without talking spoilers, without going in depth about it. There's just no fucking way you can do that. You're doing yourself a disservice if you do. You have to talk about this game in depth in general. You have to go into spoilers. You gotta dive into the characters because it's such a wonderful game. It is such a wonderful game. Alright, man. I can't wait to do New Game Plus. Okay? I can't wait to do New Game Plus of this. I'm probably gonna get started on that shit today. I just beat it, dude. I just beat it 30 minutes ago. So, post what you think of the game down below. Where does this rank in your Persona games? If you put Persona 3 above this, oh god, oh my god. You can have your opinion all you want, but Jesus Christ, don't do that. Don't do that. Anyway, guys, I hope to see you guys in the next video.